Coming up on Mountain News this morning, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth faced questions about his role in a recent military strike. And President Donald Trump announced what he is calling a trust fund for every American child.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Welcome to Mountain News This Morning. I'm Caroline Mueller, here with you on this Wednesday, December 3rd. The time is now 6 a.m. and let's go ahead and check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmal for a look at your forecast this morning. I think the story all morning, Megan, has just been cold.
Yes.
It is frigid out there, and I don't think I have much more to say about it.
No, that's about it. That's the forecast. Cold, more cold, and it's going to continue all day long. So make sure you're wearing the proper outfit as you're heading out the door. Here's a look at some of those chilly temperatures this morning. A mixture of the upper 20s and low 30s are expected and will continue for the next hour or so before we see just a little bit more warmth into the afternoon with highs in a mixture of the upper 30s and low 40s. Yes, still very cold this afternoon. So it's an all-day thing. Wear your full body winter gear. You're going to need it. Now, thankfully, you don't have to worry about any snow falling this morning as we're dealing with those cloudy skies. However, some folks still could see some icy conditions, especially in our far northern counties this morning. So be careful as you're heading out on the road this morning. Here's a look at the next 12 hours for you. High temperatures will be around 3 p.m. with cloud cover dissipating throughout the day. Caroline.
Thank you, Megan. 4 weeks after UPS Flight 2976 crashed while taking off from the Louisville airport, crews are still working to recover pieces of the wreckage. The MD-11 crashed November 4th, killing 3 crew members and 11 others on the ground. Yesterday, we learned more businesses have been allowed access to their property. As LG&E works to restore gas service, some other businesses were given the okay to resume third shift operations as of Monday night.
And there's businesses that have their own generators. There's businesses that don't need gas to operate. There's businesses that once they get electric, they can come in. They've been contacted by LG&E to meet on property to get those services restored as they're able to do so.
Officials say as of today, there's about 150 contract workers in Louisville who are shifting through the plane wreckage and collecting evidence. President Trump and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth faced questions Tuesday about Hegseth's role in a recent military strike on a suspected drug boat in the Caribbean. CBS News' Jared Hill has the latest from New York.
In a 2-hour cabinet meeting, President Trump distanced himself from a second military strike on an alleged drug boat in the Caribbean on September 2nd.
As far as the attack is concerned, I still haven't gotten a lot of information because I rely on Pete. But to me, it was an attack. It wasn't 1 strike, 2 strikes, 3 strikes.
The first strike on the boat reportedly killed 9 people. The legality of the second strike is being called into question. The Washington Post reported last week, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth gave a verbal order to kill everybody on board the vessel. And then Navy Admiral Frank Mitch Bradley apparently ordered the second strike to take out 2 survivors to comply with Hegseth's instructions. At the White House, Hegseth said he watched the first strike, but did not stay to watch the second.
I did not personally see survivors, but I stand because the thing was on fire. It was exploded in fire or smoke. You can't see anything. You got digital. This is called the fog of war.
Seems like he can't get his story straight.
Senate lawmakers say they plan to meet with Admiral Bradley Thursday. Amid bipartisan concern, the second strike was a war crime.
I think there's a broad consensus that it's illegal to kill people who are clinging to wreckage.
Meanwhile, as the White House halts asylum decisions in ways expanding the travel ban, President Trump lashed out at Minnesota's Somali community.
I don't want them in our country, I'll be honest with you.
He says ICE will carry out enhanced operations in Minnesota targeting undocumented immigrants. Jared Hill, CBS News, New York.
The Trump administration's counter-drug campaign in the Caribbean and Eastern Pacific Ocean has now grown to more than 20 known strikes and more than 80 deaths. The Pentagon's Law on War manual states that shipwrecked combatants are in a helpless state, and it would be dishonorable and inhumane to make them the object of attack. Some lawmakers are not so sure and have lots of questions for the administration. Kentucky Senator Rand Paul spoke with reporters at the U.S. Capitol yesterday about the second strike on the alleged drug boat.
It's a completely made up and false sense that it's just a war where we name people who we don't like, we call them terrorists, and then we kill them, and then if we see them floating around in the ocean, we then rebomb them.
He says it's unlikely the boats were coming to the U.S. and said both strikes were illegal. He thinks the administration knows they made a big mistake. The Trump administration wants to withhold SNAP benefits from recipients in most Democratic-controlled states starting next week, unless those states provide information about those receiving the assistance. Officials say cooperation is needed to root out fraud in the program. North Carolina appears to be the only state with a Democratic governor that has handed over the information. And President Trump announced what he is calling a trust fund for every American child starting next 4th of July. These Invest America or Trump accounts are tax-deferred saving tools under a provision in the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. They're available to all children under 18 with a Social Security number. Anyone, family, friends, philanthropies can contribute up to $5,000 a year. The government will also provide one-time seed contributions of $1,000 to babies born between January 1st of 2025 and 2028.
Trump account should grow to be worth many thousands of dollars by the time the child is 18 and even more by the time they are 20 or even 30 years old. We think it's going to be something really unique and really special.
We believe the smartest investment that we can make is an investment in children.
Michael and Susan Dell announced they're contributing more than $6 billion to Invest America. They're giving $250 to the accounts of 25 million children under age 10 in zip codes where the median household income is $150,000 a year or less. Some voters in Tennessee went to the polls to choose their next representative in Congress in a special election yesterday. Republican Matt Van Epps won, which keeps the 7th district in the GOP column. President Donald Trump, who endorsed Van Epps, won this district by 22 points in the last election. Democrats still said they were proud of their showing in the race. Today, millions are dealing with the aftermath of the nation's first major snowstorm of the winter, blanketing parts of the country under snow and ice Tuesday. Tuesday's storm caused dozens of crashes from the Midwest to the East Coast. On a snowy overpass, a tractor-trailer dangling dangerously over the ledge. First responders in West Virginia raced to rescue the driver.
The safer we got that harness on him, the safer we was and the faster we could get out of there.
The National Weather Service warned that snow and ice would make travel dangerous in some parts of the country into this morning. Do you get anxiety when you visit the dentist? One solution, make the dental drills quieter. Researchers at the University of Osaka found lowering the volume of the drill and changing the drill's sound caused less fear for children and adults. Dental anxiety, known as odontophobia, prevents some people from getting regular cleanings and keeping up with their dental hygiene.
It is a cloudy start to your day as you're beginning your Wednesday, but that's not the only thing that you have to worry about in the forecast. So here's a look at satellite and radar. Again, nice and cloudy. We'll see some sunnier skies popping out later this afternoon, but the main impact of that forecast are those temperatures. No surprise here as we're heading out the door. It is going to be very cold temperatures in the upper 20s and low 30s. Normally this time of year, our low temperatures are in the mid-30s, so definitely colder than average start to the day. And as we head into the afternoon, we'll be seeing temperatures in the upper 30s and low 40s. Definitely still very chilly. Here's a look at when you can expect the warmest temperatures. That'll be around that 3 o'clock time frame, with the sun peeking out around the same time that we're seeing the warmest temperatures. Caroline.
Thank you, Megan, and thank you for getting your day started with us here on Mountain News This Morning. Coming up, independent pharmacies around the country are falling by the wayside. Rural areas are feeling the pain especially. We'll have those details.